Good morning. We're going to talk about a few new releases from Peter Pig. A bit of a rambling mix, but here we go. First thing is the zebras. Now, zebras, here they go. We know them as the black and white little horsey type things. Peter Pig done 2 packs. Here's a nice smooth zebra. Comes in 3 poses. And here's the same zebra, but this time with etchings. Now, the idea behind the etchings is that if you paint it in black and then do a dry brush, so almost no paint on a brush, and flick it across, the white will be highlighted without having to paint in all the lines carefully. I suppose conversely, you could paint it all white and then use the etchings to help guide you. But yeah, there's great big scars in the animal. It makes it quick to paint. Now, here's some that are already done. There's a group of 5. The reason we've done zebras is that they used for the countdown on the new AK-47 rules. They're due out in, I think, February they are. The game countdown clock is 36. You could just write the 36 on a piece of paper, but I thought it might be more interesting to have 36 zebra models. Here they go. Now, I've done these in bases of 5, so they look like a little herd. And that's what 36 zebra models look like. There we go. So, the countdown's at 36. If you roll a 3, you'll take a 3 off. So the countdown's now at 33, like a battle clock. However, if you want to take, say, you rolled a 4, take 4 off, you could take a 3 and a single. And you can fiddle around with them. But the other idea is that zebras look nice on the war games table, and part of AK-47 is the look of the game. If a game doesn't look nice, it's much less enjoyable. Of course, a game's got to be more than just look nice, but if a game can look nice and it's a good set of rules, that's a bonus. So there's the zebras, and they come in the 50mm size. There we go. There's an etched one there, and there's a smooth one. Oh, wrong way around, undercoated it the other way. There we go, and there's the zebras. Each zebra comes in 3 different poses. There's like a standing, a trotting, a head down, that sort of thing. Just a small variety in case you really want to do a lot of zebras. The other reason is, if you see zebras on a tabletop, it's what's called a game recognizer. If people see zebras, they say, aha, it's an African game. In the same way, when we put a Greek temple on one of our games, people say, aha, it's an ancients game. So some things are quick recognizers. Also, like the cemetery gates of Gettysburg, you put that on a game, people say, America's Civil War. So game recognizers sometimes help people. There we go. Anyway, that's the zebras. Now for a couple of more other new odds and ends. First one is this. These are pack number 5 in the Nubians, 50mm. These could fight with the Egyptians as mercenaries or against the Egyptians. Nubians always look pretty on the game table. Obviously got dark skin, got a nice feather, you can do it in white or a nice colour, and they got nice light clothing. Probably fairly easy to paint. Maybe a flesh undercoat, like a dark brown flesh, whatever, and just a few light touches, bit of dry brushing. Anyway, that's Nubians. These are javelin skirmishers that have no shields. The Nubian range has also got in it bowmen, men with shields, stuff like that. There's a danger amongst wargamers that they say, Nubians are bowmen. Yes, but they're not solely bowmen. You can't run an empire or large army with just one troop type. So although the Nubians are famous for their bowmen, yes, they also had spearmen and all sorts of other skirmishers and stuff like that. A bit in the same way as in the 100 Years' War, English bowmen were famous, but the whole army wasn't just English bowmen. So gamers have to get used to the fact that most armies had a lot of different troop types. They're the Nubians. The other new thing, this is an unusual pack here, some Tuaregs. This is for, say, the 19th century, maybe early 20th century, possibly, with bolt-action rifles. These are Tuaregs. Now, there's a whole range of ancient Tuaregs in the Peter Pig Ancients range, but there's going to be a few rifle packs just to give people the crossover ability, in case you want to take on the French Foreign Legion or those sorts of things. So these are foot memory rifles. At some point should be some cameliers with rifles and some other little odds and ends. Anyway, they're Tuaregs with rifles. Once again, they're all in packs of 8, 3 poses. Now the next thing on my ramblings is, here's the third of the solid buildings for the Peter Pig AK-47 range. We do 3 types of shanty buildings and 3 types of solid buildings. The idea being with 3 types of building, that probably gives most wargamers enough variation. And we've also made them so different from different angles, so as you move them around on the wargames table, you've got a bit of variety. These solid buildings are basically brick or mud brick block buildings with a nice shiny roof with a bit of patching up there. Got a double door there. This might be a church, a meeting house, just something in the AK-47 game system. So there are 3 solid buildings, this one, square one, long one, with corrugated roofs. There's also 3 shanty buildings. Because in the new AK-47 rules, the ones coming out 2025, probably about February, there's 2 types of buildings. There's solid buildings, which is this sort of thing, or there's shanty buildings, which are very poor, and they can be penetrated by heavier fire. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. Now, on to Toyotas. Now, Peter Pig Toyotas have always been very popular. We've now made it a single resin piece. Now, it's on a block of scenery, which I quite like. But if you don't like it, you can just sand it off and get the basic truck. Now, here's the ordinary Toyota. Notice we don't do double crew cabs and things because AK-47 isn't set in the 21st century. It stops about 1990. We don't want to bring it too upsetting and too up to date. And there's the standard Toyota. There we go, a little resin item. Now we've got destroyed versions. Here is a burnt out version. So the tyres have all burnt off or been stolen. So it's down to just the with wheel, disc brake system, whatever it is, and it's all burnt up. And this one's also got a nice open door. There we go, and a few bullet holes in it. Yeah, it looks quite nice. That's that. And it's also got no windscreen. You can't see it very clearly. There's a big dip in the front, but there is no windscreen. That's that one. The other destroyed one is one where it's just been shot up, so it's not burnt out. It looks all right from there. Coming around to here, it's got a few bits missing, a few bullet holes in it, as you'd expect. And there's the door just being blown straight off, and the rear turrets being blown straight off, the little turret thing at the back. The idea on the battlefield adds a little bit of prettiness to the game, a bit of aesthetic, but also it marks a vehicle destroyed because there are pickups in the new AK-47. And the idea being, if you get a destroyed vehicle, you put this down instead and it looks quite nice. Now, there was some controversy about gamers who get a little bit upset or sensitive about dead people. I mean, I don't particularly because it's a game of war and I'm not too upset about it. But some people were quite exercised and upset. So here's the burnt out one, but this time it's burnt out with a couple of skeletons in it and some weaponry. So it's been burnt out for a while. There it is, all charred, looking nasty. It's the same as the other version. But this is for people who are a little less sensitive and not too bothered about it. And there's a couple of skeletons. There we go. And the last one here is once again the shot up one, but once again a couple of dead people in it. As I said, I don't find it particularly distasteful, but a few people have been very upset by it. But well, it's up to them, isn't it? There are a couple of dead people in it. And once again, it's the same model, but some figures added. Now, all of these come as single resin pieces, but you can sand them down if you want less of a base on it. But I find it quite nice to grip them and do the stuff with them like that. Of course, being pickup trucks, most of them probably be white or simple colours because they're from the dealerships or they're commercial ones or ones that have been owned by people for a while. But there they are. There's a selection of those. And that's a roundup of the recent odds and ends we've been making. There's more things on the way, but there's always a few new things from Peter Pig. I would say there's at least 2 new releases a month. Thanks for watching that. Bye for now.